Hello, and welcome back to the podcast, Green Horizons Global Insights, where we discuss and present a variety of UN SDGs. For this episode, we're going to be talking about UN Sustainable Development Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. The end goal here is to ensure access to clean and affordable energy, which is a key to the development of agriculture, business, communications, education, healthcare, and transportation. In the UN's own words, the world continues to advance towards sustainable energy targets, but not fast enough. At the current pace about 660 million people will still lack access to electricity, and close to 2 billion people will still rely on polluting fuels and technologies for cooking by 2030. Our everyday life depends on reliable and affordable energy, and yet the consumption of energy is the dominant contributor to climate change, accounting to around 60% of total global greenhouse gas emissions. From 2015 to 2021, the proportion of the global population with access to electricity has increased from 87% to 91%. Ensuring universal access to affordable electricity by 2030 means investing in clean energy sources and as solar, wind, and thermal, expanding infrastructure and upgrading technology to provide clean energy in all developing countries and crucial is a crucial goal that can both encourage growth and help the environment. So this goal has five targets. And so 7.1 is that by 2030 to ensure universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. So this means making sure everyone can access energy that is affordable, reliable, and modern, like electricity from clean sources. So as mentioned before, wind, solar, um, not fossil fuels. To do this, we need to build energy systems, invest in renewable sources like solar, wind, and make energy cheaper for poor communities. So, in order to do this, the government, companies, and communities need to work together to expand access to this clean and affordable energy, especially in rural areas. Target 7.2 is by 2030 increase substantially the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. So this means using much more energy from clean and renewable sources like solar, wind, and water worldwide. To do this, we need to build more renewable energy systems, invest in technology, and reduce reliance on polluting fuels like coal and oil. So this also makes sure to reduce the fossil fuels and these like coal and oil, as well as burning plastic and all this, um, which is very common in rural and like poorer areas. It's important that we stop that and switch to clean energy, but it's in order to do this, the clean energy needs to become affordable and accessible for everyone. Target 7.3 is by 2030, double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. So this means using energy in smarter ways so we waste less and get more done with the same amount. To do this, we need to develop better technology, upgrade old systems, and encourage people and businesses to save energy. So, governments need to make sure that all the systems, energy systems are updated, that they're new and renewable. The technology needs to be expanded in order to be able to be able to supply everyone in the world with this clean and better technology. And it's also important that um, we spread the word about this and that other people are encouraged to do so as well. Goal 7A is, by 2030, enhance international cooperation to facilitate access to clean energy research and technology, including renewable energy, energy efficiency, and advanced and better and cleaner fossil fuel technology, and promote investment in energy infrastructure and clean energy technology. So this is telling us that countries need to work together and share clean energy ideas, research, and technology. So once this is done, and like the benefit of this is that you can invest this renewable energy, so invest in renewable energy, you can improve energy saving tools and create cleaner ways to use fossil fuels. And this can really only be done through partnerships and cooperations between nations. And it is really important that we all work together towards this goal and work together as a community, and like share our ideas, share technologies, and just make sure that this goal is reached. The last target is 7B, and it is by 2030, expand infrastructure and upgrade technology for supplying modern and sustainable energy services for all developing countries, in particular least developed countries, small island developing states, and landlocking developing countries, in accordance with their respective programs of support. So basically, this means that once again, focusing on expanding and improving this technology, especially in developing countries and those who are poorest and are not able maybe currently do not have access to this kind of clean energy. So this can be done by building better infrastructure, using clean energy, and providing support based on the country's needs. So really being able to cater to every country. So currently, 675 million people still live without electricity, and the UN frames this as living in the dark. 4 in 5 of these people live in sub-Saharan Africa. So just some current facts about like where we currently stand with renewable energy. At the current pace, like present day, about 660 million people still lack access to electricity, and close to 2 billion people still rely on polluting fuels and technologies for cooking. But yeah, and it's estimated that close to 2 billion people will do this by 2030. Currently, 733 million people don't have access to electricity. That globally is about 1 in 10 people worldwide. So it is quite a large number. It is estimated that between 35 billion and 40 million US dollars are needed annually to reach universal electricity access between 2021 and 2030. And this is to ensure that everyone has access to electricity, so universal access to electricity. So that is quite the sum of money to invest, but it is an investment worth making. The global electricity access has risen from 87% in 2015 to 91% in 2021. But however, 657 million people, primarily those in the least developed countries and sub-Saharan Africa, remain without access to electricity. In 2021, 71% of the global population had access to clean cooking fuels and technologies, which was an increase from the 64% in 2015. The region with the lowest access rates was sub-Saharan Africa, where progress towards clean cooking has failed to keep pace with growing populations, leaving a total of 0.9 billion people without access to electricity as of 2021. Without stable electricity supply, countries will not be able to power the economics. So there are a lot of consequences of not having stable and clean electricity. So a big one of this is that without electricity, primarily women and young girls have to spend hours fetching water for their families. Hospitals and clinics might not be able to store certain medications, such as vaccines or other medications, which need to be refrigerated. Children or people may not be able to work at night in the dark due to not having light. People cannot run in these areas, will not be able to properly have a business or like run any sort of business, as this all requires electricity. And as of right now, the slow progress we are making towards clean cooking solutions is a global concern, as it affects both human health and the environment. So obviously, burning these unclean energy sources, especially plastic, is incredibly bad for the human body. Inhaling these microplastics and the fumes from plastic can really um, be really detrimental to your health. It can cause serious health concerns, respiratory issues, everything. And it is also at the same time extremely harmful to the environment. Burning fossil fuels is really the leading cause for climate change. And if we continue to do so, it will only get worse. And you can refer to our episode UN SDG 11, where we talk about climate change and the effects of that. So if we don't meet our energy goal by 2030, nearly a third of the world's population, mostly consisting of women and children, will continue to be exposed to harmful household air and pollution. So the harmful fumes from cooking and like burning these um, unclean energy sources. And energy services are key to preventing disease and fighting pandemics, as when you have energy, when you have electricity, and you are first of all able to prevent these diseases a lot better, because you are able to store medications, store vaccines. If someone gets ill, you can put them in the heat, you can put them in a air conditioned room. It's just and then if something does happen, you can fight against it a lot better if you're able to have electricity, clean running water, if you're not cooking with um, things that make you even more sick. So, what can be done to help? What can countries do to help? So, countries can accelerate the transmission to an affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy system. by investing in renewable energy resources, as well as prioritizing energy efficient practices and adopting clean energy technologies and infrastructures. Coming off of this, investors can invest in sustainable energy sources and services and bring new sustainable energy technologies to the market. Um, Businesses can maintain and protect ecosystems and commit to sourcing 100% of operational electricity needs from renewable sources. And employers can reduce the internal demand for transport, prioritizing telecommunication and incentivize less energy intensive modes such as train travel over auto and air travel. So really, a lot of this is stuff and policies that the government can change and those like business owners and everything. But there's also a lot that you as an individual can do to help. So one way to save electricity is by plugging appliances into a power strip and turning them off completely when not in use. This includes your computer. It's also a good idea to use a bike or walk or take public transport instead of taking the car everywhere. This can be seen in our episode on Sustainable Development Goal 13, where we talk about the benefits of using public transport. Some other ways that you personally can do to help is when you leave a room, you can turn off the light. In the summer or winter, you can try and avoid to put the heat or the air conditioning at full volume, at full capacity, in order to reduce the energy. So maybe in the winter, just wear a sweater, or in the summer, put a fan, mist the fan, just stuff, or when you leave the house or overnight, just so it's not constantly running and using energy. And another thing you could do is get a special shower head with less pressure, so there's not as much, you're not wasting as much water. So these are all things you can personally do to help. If you want to find out more information, you can go on the UN site about Sustainable Development Goals. You can find that at https://sdgs.un.org/goals/goal17. So I hope this information was helpful. I hope you now know more about UN Sustainable Development Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. Um, and yeah, make sure to check out the website and the rest of our videos for more.